Hello, hello. Welcome back, guys, to episode 8. I want to welcome back my lovely co-host, PV.
I'm back.
Back?
Yeah, back in action.
All right. So, do you want to introduce our special guest today?
Yeah, one of my old-time college buddies, Lawrence Lee. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited, actually. When I first heard about you guys starting this, I was like, that's a pretty cool idea. And then you were thrown out there loosely like, you should join. I was like, sure,
Yeah,
I love
definitely.
to. Yeah.
All right. So, do you guys want to talk about how you guys met?
No, not really. No, I'm just kidding.
It was one overcast evening in Cal State East Bay campus.
I remember
I
it
was
like it's
walking
yesterday.
alone to class. It was a night economics class. No, I'm just kidding.
And I bumped into you, and our books fell on the floor, and we picked them up together.
No, but we did meet in college. It was I don't know if it was a finance class, but it was, we went to business school together.
Yeah,
So technically,
class.
Cal State East Bay, hit it off, never paid attention in class, just talked baseball playoffs the whole time. We still passed.
Of course.
We still passed. So we obtained our degrees.
Yeah, and I think we met through a friend too. Like
It
we were
was
also
Was it
friends.
Lewis?
No, not
I don't know
Lewis.
if it was Cyrus, maybe?
Cyrus. Yeah.
Shout out Cyrus. What's up, man?
And Lewis too. Since
Yeah.
shout out Lewis.
Bring the shreds.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw you was when you guys were walking for graduation. You brought out your foam finger.
I know.
Yeah.
I still couldn't
I
believe.
was like, who is that guy? He was like, that's my friend.
No one, knew that was coming. That was looking back, it's probably a little embarrassing, but
That was pretty awesome. Pretty epic.
I had to put on for Hayward, man. That's where
That's
I'm from.
funny. That was too funny. And then I know you guys were kind of on and off for a little bit after college, right?
A little bit. Well, it was when we were really close in college. Obviously, I hadn't really met you.
Yeah.
But then I remember Pete had invited me to you guys' wedding, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I felt terrible for not being able to go.
Why?
The reason why I didn't go because I didn't have anybody to go with.
Here comes the tea.
And it was down in SoCal, right? So
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to go to a wedding by myself. Like, it just felt like a loser to do it. But so that's why I made sure I sent you guys like a gift in a card or something like that. But I felt guilty for not going because I was like, I felt like for someone to invite you to your wedding, like that's an important thing. Like,
Yeah.
There's only a limited guest list. And for me to turn it down, I was like, looking back, I was like, I shouldn't have done that.
No, it's all
And then
good.
after meeting you two and how great of a person you are, I was like, yeah, I should have went to their wedding. That would have been cool to do. But
Because I know I'm going to take that credit. I reunited you guys.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
right, I didn't know that.
You're
Tell me why.
welcome.
How did that happen?
I don't know, actually, because I remember we would visit LA and you were
Yeah, I think
always
the first
there.
time we
Okay.
hung
You
out
were always-
was in SoCal.
Which is random, right? Like,
Yeah.
You were always in LA. I don't know if you were visiting at the time or you were living.
yeah, that's pretty funny. Now that you say that,
And I
you're
was
right.
like, hey, we should hang out because you're always in LA.
well, thank you for reaching out.
We had to go 400 miles in order to hang out when
Yeah.
we only live like 20 miles away.
But I don't remember if you were living.
But you're right. I think we did become like closer friends after I had moved to OC, and
Yeah.
then now I'm back. So
Yeah.
You're welcome.
yeah.
And then, I'm surprised you're still hanging around with, because now I introduced you to a few other buddies and they haven't scared you away.
It's all in fun, man. I love those guys too.
And now we've gotten closer by playing Brawlhalla together.
Yep.
Best game ever.
Are you guys still playing though?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
Just
our
you-
ELO rating right now?
We're killing it.
We're killing it,
well
yeah.
above 1,400, close to 15.
And then I heard you hate Messi. Is that his name?
No, he hates
Oh,
Man
Manchester
U.
United. Yeah. Pete once said he was going to buy a Lego set of Manchester United's stadium, and I said, if that ever gets assembled, I'm coming over your house and destroying it.
Well, he hasn't even assembled his Batmobile yet. So
Wow.
yeah,
Oh,
the bus
okay.
is running.
So I hate Man U because I can never beat them. That's why.
In 2021 you can, but 2020 not so much.
That's funny.
Okay.
All right. So you went from a sales position to real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how and why the transition?
So it's funny, when we were in college, I took a couple of real estate classes.
Okay.
Never in my life did I ever think I would be a real estate agent. But I've always had interest in it. I used to be, when I had downtime at work, I would go on the Wall Street Journal's website and just look at their top real estate pages.
Okay.
So my family's been in real estate. They've owned properties throughout my life. And but still, it's like never something I ever thought I really wanted to get into. But at my previous job in sales, I liked it. It was a great company. But at one point, I just felt like it was time to do something different.
Okay.
And I like to be reliant on me and independent and, set my own schedule. And real estate was that.
And be your own boss.
Yeah. It's funny because one of my best friends, Parshawn, was kind of in the mortgage industry. And he had told me, he was like, dude, this is something you could do. Like, I've worked with other agents and they're really not that great. So like, it's like you have all the qualities and skills to do it. I feel like you should do it. And this was like while I was still working in sales. This was years prior. And then finally when I left my job, I took like some months off to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And then I also have a background in like marketing and graphic design and videos. And I looked at, being a realtor and I was like, all those skills kind of translate to that.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. I remember what Parshawn was telling me. I was like, I should look into it. So I finally looked into it to see what it takes to become a real estate agent. And it's pretty simple. Like,
so what does it take to be a real estate agent?
You just have to pass the test, right?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. That's why there's so many people with the real estate license.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, not everybody's like successful in it because it is hard. But to get your real estate license, you really just need to pass like 3 courses. And you pay for them. It's like less than $200 for those courses you can take online. You take them at your own time. And once you do that, you submit your application to the DRE, which is the Department of Real Estate. And then you just go take the test. And if you pass it, you just need to get 70%, which is a C, right? Like
that's crazy.
And then boom, you're
all
licensed.
multiple choice, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no essay component or anything.
No, there's barely even any math.
Oh.
Yeah.
What the heck? So what's an example of like some questions that are on there? Are they always the same?
No, they do vary.
Okay.
To be 100% honest with you, I don't really remember the questions.
Oh, okay. Because I was kind of curious
like,
what the questions were.
Stuff about like the contract. I mean, I know these things, but I don't know how to frame it in a question.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Got it.
Sorry.
So how did you come up with the name? Because it's a pretty good name.
Yeah, it's funny because
and the name is?
The name of the business is Familee Realty. So my name is Lawrence Lee. And when it almost sounds like when I first meet people and I tell them like what my name is, and then they say like, what's your email address? And I was like, oh, okay, it's LLEE@familyrealty.com. And then like they'll like write it down like, oh, I like that. It makes sense. And then also too, like friends have like told me like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like it like has a ring to it.
Yeah, it does.
But for me, like I came up with the name because my last name in my family is really important. Like kind of my family is another reason why I got into it because they've been in real estate, and they never really took it as a business, so to speak. So I wanted to make this a family business.
Okay.
And what better way to make a family business than putting your name in the business name? So that's kind of the story behind that. Plus, it kind of like made sense. It's a family business. Plus, it's got my name in it. And
Okay.
Just wordplay.
And then the logo is what, 2 F's, right?
The logo is 2 F's. Yeah.
That's clean.
I kind of made it 2 F's into a home.
That's cool. I just noticed that right now.
I was just looking at it right now. So.
I just noticed
all
it.
the little details, they matter.
That's crazy.
Long term. And for me too, like when I started this, like I wanted to create a company name versus just my name. Like no one really cares about Lawrence Lee. You know? I mean, maybe somebody does, but I feel like a company name is more something that people can grasp onto. Like you hear about big brokerages like Compass or Keller Williams or whatnot. I wanted Familee Realty to be a company. So my whole goal when I started was into real estate is become a brand and a company that I can build, not an empire, but like build around that other people would want to join.
Got it.
It's tough to get someone just to join Lawrence Lee. It's like, who cares? But
Yeah.
Familee Realty sounds like a company that other people can be under, and so like when other agents will join my brokerage at some point, I'll consider them as part of the family.
There
as
you go.
opposed to like an associate or a fellow salesperson. It's like, no, you're part of the family.
Got it.
Do you have anyone now besides your family? Or?
No, so I'm currently working on getting my broker's license, and once that happens, I'll be able to hire agents under me. So that's coming up very soon, hopefully.
Okay, awesome. So when you said that your family is in the business, are they?
Yeah,
do they
own
have
property.
They own property and they're
Yeah.
renting it to people?
Correct.
Okay.
It's
got it.
all residential properties, or
Mm-hmm.
okay.
I don't really dabble in commercial. I've helped people obtain commercial spaces, but it's a different game. I can't say that I'm an expert in it. I don't really want to be either because it's completely different. Like actually our other buddy from college, Ryan.
Oh yeah.
I helped him obtain a commercial space. He reached out and I can do it. It's just, it's not my focus. Residential is something I'd like to be more knowledgeable on.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. So what do you like most about what you do now?
Everything, honestly. I truly, since making the transition, I love what I do.
Okay,
Like I
that's
wake up
good.
every day and I've never said, oh, I don't want to do this today. I'm tired of like working with clients. I'm tired of looking at homes. Like the independence is great. Like setting your own schedule, helping people obtain a goal of buying a house is a big deal for
Yeah.
a lot of people. So being the
Definitely.
person chosen to help them do that is pretty self-rewarding, honestly. And honestly, not having to like rely on other people so much in this industry is great. At a previous job, like I would sell a project in and then it would go to, teams of other people that would have to do their thing.
Got it.
And the breaking point for me at that previous company is one big project I sold in fell apart. And I'm not blaming anybody. There was a lot of factors at play, but I was the point person.
But if you
Yeah.
had to blame something,
You can name drop.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm nice. I blame the company overall. They put those people in bad positions. But that project fell apart, and I was the one having the finger pointed at the end of the day because I'm the salesperson. I'm the sales rep. The client looks at me as like, "What the heck's going on? Why is my project delayed? Why isn't it shipping?" In this industry, I like taking on that responsibility and being the person that my clients can rely on in a time of need of whatever trouble may happen with the transaction, whatever it may be. I take full responsibility. I make sure that everything goes smoothly. And to this point, luckily, I haven't had any issues with any clients and things have gone pretty well. So
All right. So I'm assuming there's no bad part of your
there can be
career path. So what's the
There
worst
can
part
be.
of
a
doing what you're
client
doing?
can sue you.
really,
Yeah, you can get
For-
there's a lot of different things
for not
man.
getting the home they wanted, or
No, it's more so probably be like if
like misleading you.
If they buy a home and you don't disclose something to them, if you don't like give them a heads up, like you can be in deep SH.
Oh, you can say it. It's okay.
Maybe
You're being
kids listening.
dipshit.
My mom's listening to this.
My mom might listen to this. Hi, Mom. But yeah, you could get sued for a lot of different things. So there's insurance against that. It's called E&O, Errors and Emissions Insurance, just to protect people from that. Because there's a lot of money at stake in real estate, obviously, especially in the Bay Area. A lot of things cost like $1 million and up.
Oh.
So, someone makes a $1 million purchase and then you come to find out that there's, a foundation issue that you didn't tell them about. You can be blamed for it.
But what if you didn't know about it? Can they still blame you? Like if
I
they
blatantly had no idea.
Okay.
There's probably ways around for me getting protected from being sued with that. But again, I try to do the most due diligence as possible to avoid that ever happening. Like I read through every report possible and advise people on, hey, this is a red flag. I strongly advise you not to get this particular property.
Okay.
Even though like I have a financial incentive for that, but at the end of the day, like I'm looking out for other people. And that's what I've heard horror stories of my friends too that have worked with other agents where they didn't tell them certain things or they're just trying to get them to buy this house and
so they can get the
get them
commission.
check, but they're not really looking out for the client's best interest.
Got it.
And hearing those stories kind of was like, I didn't want my family to go through that. I want my friends to go through that. So being someone that a person can trust, especially people in my inner circle that I've, helped, I just like being the one that they can trust and, know that they're not being
Scammed.
Yeah, because it's pretty surprisingly easy to be scammed in this industry.
So what's the red flag? Like what are some examples of a red flag that you wouldn't recommend selling a home to a certain person?
If a home needs a lot of work and like things you can't see, like we can
Okay.
walk into a home and all like the cabinets look great, the floors are nice, but if there's cracks in the walls, that could mean there's foundation issues. electrical can be bad in a home. These are things like you wouldn't know, but a home inspection, like, and some people will look at that and it's like 30 pages. You don't know what to look for. But, I've read hundreds of these things, so I know exactly what would be a red flag to, like, this might cost you like a lot of money down the line. So if you don't have that money saved, probably shouldn't buy this house.
That's
so
crazy.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So I know prices in the Bay Area are skyrocketing.
Yes.
Even during the pandemic, right? Or like
they went higher.
They went higher.
So why is that?
Space. People are looking for space now. Everybody's working from home, right? So, condo market and like townhomes, they didn't really drop off, but single family homes with space are like took off in value because everybody's like working from home, so they need an extra room or they need space in their living room to set up a desk. And overall in the Bay Area, like it's still a heavily populated, like small area for the most part, really. And there's not enough homes for sale. It's literally just a simple supply and demand thing.
Got it.
Literally, like, let's just for say in San Mateo, like, which is a very nice city, highly priced market. There might be 25 homes for sale at a time in San Mateo at one point, maybe even lower. But there's hundreds of people qualified to purchase a home at $1.2 million or more.
That's
so
crazy.
It's just they're creating this buying pressure. It's almost like a stock, It's like
that's pretty interesting because I know like a lot of people that list their houses usually it goes X amount above that listing price.
That's kind of like a marketing thing too, though, so to some degree. The trend here in the Bay Area, because it's such a seller's market, meaning that the sellers have the advantage because there's more buyers than sellers. You'll see a place that's priced at like $699,000 when they know the house could very well sell for like $850K.
Really?
But they do that to like draw you in, and then they'll create like a bidding war.
Okay.
So like at $699K, there's some people that hold out hope that I can pay $700,000 for this and get a house. It'd be great. But then there's also 20 other people that are willing to pay $900,000, no problem, cash.
Wow.
It's a messed up market for like your average person, but I mean, there's still so many people with high-paying jobs in the Bay Area that
that doesn't matter.
They have it.
Will it ever go down though?
I would say no, honestly. I don't see it dropping dramatically at all. Just because the Bay Area is still a high income society. Tech is here. They say tech is leaving. Some people are going to Texas and all that, but it's still the Bay Area. It's a highly desirable place to live, even outside of tech. Like the Bay Area has so many things to offer someone versus Texas. Like
that's true.
Would you want to live in Texas?
I heard they have huge cockroaches.
Yeah, we don't have those here.
I mean, the only reason why I would move to Texas is because of the land.
Yeah.
Or like how much you can get.
How much you can get for like 300, not even 300,000 for what your cousin was selling.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's still buttfuck Texas. Like, I'm sorry, excuse my French, but
your mom's listening.
So your mom's listening. Your dad's listening. Just kidding.
No offense to Texas. I'm sorry, but I'm a California guy. Born and raised here. I'm a little biased. I've only lived in I've lived in Louisiana, and I think that's probably why I'm shaded towards not moving back to the South.
Raging Cajuns. Let's go.
Yeah.
So are there any affordable places in the Bay Area besides the boonies like Tracy?
Yeah, 100%. Most of the homes here are expensive, but there's still a lot of opportunities for people to get in, that are reasonably priced.
Okay, where reasonably?
Yeah, where?
Because we've been looking.
What would you consider affordable?
Like 500?
5 to 6.
Yeah.
But not a fixer-upper or like...
Concord. I tell people Concord's a hidden gem.
But it's like, what, 1,000 square foot?
No, you can get a decent
2
size
bedrooms, 1 bath.
12, 1,300.
60s, like a 60s interior.
No, I'm telling you,
Has a furnace
Concord's
and
where
a
it's at
fireplace.
price-wise. And I actually like Concord. They're putting in new shopping centers and all that. Where we at Plesto, like that's a nice facility over there.
That's true.
Parts of Oakland, Oakland has a bad stigma to it, but truthfully, like there's pockets of Oakland that are really great.
Would you live there?
No.
But they're great.
Well, honestly, there are parts of Oakland I would live in, like the Eastmont Hills area. I've recently taken clients over there. It's actually pretty nice. East Oakland, as you get closer to 580, it's pretty cool. There's nice pockets over there. It's not so bad. Even like in the flats, though, in Oakland, there's good neighborhoods. It depends on the street.
Okay.
You know, you could be in one street that's great, but 2 streets over, it's a little sketchy.
Yeah.
But you can get a great house for $500K.
I mean, the ones that I see on your Instagram, they look really nice. But it's like, where exactly?
I always love that game you do. Guess the price.
Oh, I know. I always do it. And I'm just like, am I right?
A lot of people like that, so I have to keep it going.
I wish I got an award or something. At that.
Yeah,
I know.
Maybe I'll start rewarding people.
There you go.
Giving them some type of like
get a house.
Yeah. But no, there's definitely affordable places in the Bay Area. Again, also like if you're willing to maybe buy a townhome or a condo instead of a house, a single family house, like those are better priced than people would think. And also too, like it's a big myth that you need 20% down to buy a house. Like that is not the case. You can totally buy a house with like as low as 3.5% down.
With the whole FHA, right?
Yeah,
Stuff like
I mean
that.
you pay PMI, which is like an insurance towards your mortgage, which can be a bad thing.
Which is up to 20%, right? And then it falls off? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Correct. But again, it's not the worst thing in the world. I consider it as like, if you're going to live in an apartment, right? Let's just, like, no offense to people who live in apartments, all right?
Yeah.
But,
Hey, man, get out.
Get out.
I'm just saying, so I understand like the down payment thing is big for people, but if you're willing to live in an apartment and pay $2,500 a month in the Bay Area, if you can come up with a little bit of a down payment of like 3.5 to 5%, you can go buy a condo and almost pay the same thing and build equity, and that's your starter home.
Correct.
And then 2-3 years down the line,
Flip it.
yeah, you sell it and you build that equity and put it into your next place. It's just starting on a smaller scale, but you're starting. It's always good to get in the game and build equity. I mean, it may not be like $100,000 worth over 3 years, but it's something versus throwing away money on a rental.
Correct. That's what I was telling Pete, actually. That even if it's a townhome, that I would want to, I guess, have that as a starter to start, and then we can flip it as a rental.
Yeah,
and
people
have
do that too.
Under, our belt. So we can stay at home.
Hint.
I mean, I've been hinting this for many years.
Well, you're definitely our go-to, right?
Yeah, for sure.
For when that day comes.
I'll be ready.
Actually, I have a question for you. It's not on here, but
Sure.
As a realtor, what process is like? What's the difference between like selling and buying? Is there any difference really?
Yeah, there's a big difference.
Big difference.
I work both sides. I've helped sellers. I've helped buyers. I like doing the selling side more because it's more marketing. I love marketing.
More drone footage. Right?
I love it. It's so fun. It's like taking
More
the
pricing
pictures,
games.
doing, editing the pictures, shooting the video, editing the video. And, also too is like seeing the client's appreciation for it. It's like, oh, wow, my house looks really good.
Yeah.
And, and the fact that I've like, not to toot my own horn, but when you do it yourself and see people like appreciate it, it's like a different level of self-satisfaction. And that's why I love what I do. But on the buying side too, like it's more time consuming because you need to actually like go and visit homes with people. Like not every day, but like you could see like today I saw like 6 homes in Oakland. I mean, granted it's like 4 hours, but it's still time.
Yeah.
And if you have like multiple clients that want to see a lot of homes, so your time is limited. So you it takes a lot of planning on the buying side. But the processes are very similar. It's the same contract either way to purchase the house. But working with buyers is not necessarily more complicated, but it can be a longer process because with a buyer, there's a lot more options. Like they could say, okay, yeah, I really think I want to buy a house in Oakland. And then they'll get to Oakland and be like, I don't like Oakland. And then, okay, let's go look in Clayton. I'm like, so now you got to go Clayton. So, so that's the thing with buyers. Like they change their minds a lot. That's a bad thing. It's a big purchase. You got to make sure you really want the place you're going to buy.
Makes sense.
Whereas a seller, it's only that one house. They're either going to sell it or they're not. So
when you post your photos and all that stuff, what is does it look identical to what you see in your naked eye? Because you know how some places where they advertise and it doesn't look exactly what you're gonna walk into.
Is it kind of like looking at a menu and like getting
Yes,
that dish?
exactly.
It looks
Like,
amazing.
is it gonna
and then when the
look
dish
like-
comes,
It can be. It can be. I mean, that's why I always tell people you have to see it in person.
Okay.
I mean, real estate, like some companies are trying to like make real estate a technology business where you can like iBuy, but
do
I
like
think that's
virtual
tough.
tours and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I mean,
Okay.
they're great tools to help market a property, but at the end of the day, like people have to go walk the space. You have to.
Yeah.
When you walk into a home, you feel it. Like,
Yeah.
This is the one. This is where I want to live every day. So yeah, there's a different aspect of seeing something in person versus the pictures. So to answer your question about do they really look like that in person, it's 50-50.
Okay.
Some places really look as good as they do in photos. Some places they're covering some stuff up. Like today, we went to a place that looked beautiful in photos. It was a great space, but you don't notice the floors in the pictures. The floors, like all the planks were like dislodged and loose. So
Wow.
yeah, like I said, you got to see the stuff in person for sure.
That's crazy. So do you have any bad client stories?
I don't actually.
Oh.
I've been really lucky to
Okay.
work with great people. Even like my friends obviously are great that I've worked with, but like even the strangers. Like,
Okay.
I've had one bad experience, but it wasn't like a bad client. It was just this guy that came to an open house.
Oh.
This is kind of when I was first starting out. The guy came, was checking out the house. He liked it, and he was asking me questions. And he asked if you can build an ADU in the backyard. And I had never heard that term.
What is that?
It's an accessory dwelling unit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
And-
it's like what is it called? You know the word, because your old place has it. Your very old.
Well, it's like basically like a
it's like a
shed,
term.
a storage
Yeah.
unit in the back. It's like basically, so in the Bay Area, since there's a housing shortage technically, there a lot of cities are pushing to allow ADUs to accommodate more people in a home.
Okay.
If the lot is big enough, there's restrictions and all that. But anyway, this guy asked, he was like, "This backyard's big. Do you think they'll allow you to build an ADU back here?" And I was like, "To be honest, sir, I don't know. That's something I could find out for you." He was like, "Well, why don't you know that?" I said, "Oh, it's just something I don't know. I'm sorry." And he was like, "Well, you should know that." I was like, "Yeah, I probably should, and I will look it up." And but you got me stumped. I'm sorry, I don't know the
Yeah.
answer. And he just kept grilling me. He's like, "Well, ADUs are this and that, and this setback and all that." So I was like, "There's, they could be this size." And I was like, "I appreciate the information. Thank you for letting me know." But like he was like adamant on like being more knowledgeable than me. And I just thought that was interesting. I didn't get why. It was like, okay, well, then you should be a realtor, man. You don't
Maybe
need
he is a realtor.
possibly, I don't know.
Maybe he
but-
wanted that house to
Yeah,
sell.
but honestly, that was the only like bad experience, which wasn't bad at all. But it was just funny at the time that the guy was like grilling me so hard. But I was like, dude, chill out.
I'll know what to ask you when we buy a house next.
Honestly, I've had picky clients, but I don't see that as a bad thing because I
Yeah.
understand. Like honestly,
It's a big purchase, like you said. So-
yeah, I would probably be the worst client for any other realtor because I'm pretty picky when it comes to like
Oh.
a house. Like I like where I live, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't like. So if
Yeah.
I'm buying another place, I'm like I would be a lot more picky on stuff. So that like my client before was telling me that the house has to open a certain direction. The address has to add up to a certain number.
Oh gosh.
I don't know about that
The
one.
bedroom has to be in a certain direction of the home, like in the like
Was this
southwest.
person Asian?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
No
were they
comment.
Chinese?
Yeah, I see it's Asian.
It was a cultural thing for sure.
Yeah.
But it was a learning experience. Honestly, I looked at it as that versus like a problem. I looked at it as this is something I can learn from this client. So the next person that has the same qualifications, I'm not going to think they're crazy. It's just like you got to respect people's
That's gonna be
checklist.
me.
Like
You're just like, shoot, I have to do math. I have to count add these numbers.
it was actually kind of cool to learn though. The way she broke it down to me, it was
I
kind
mean,
of confusing. But
I had
it's
no
kinda cool.
idea that the address
It's a thing.
had to be
It's
a thing because
I mean, I could see that. I mean, like we had to get permission from her dad if we can get married on a specific date
Yeah, I've heard that.
because of the numbers.
I know, but I'm trying to figure out like now I'm going to ask my dad the address because the only way that my friends remembered my parents' address because it's 629
Okay.
and it's gonna be bad to say, but sorry. Sex tonight.
Wow. That's all
That
I
was
got.
That was her friends. That was her friends that said that.
That was my friend. So
That's funny.
But yeah, the whole thing about the front door, it can't align with the back door.
Feng shui.
Yes.
It's money going in. It's
Money
money
going,
out.
going straight out.
I was selling a house that potentially had that problem. The client came in and they loved the house, but then they were like, they walked in the front door and they were looking straight. They were doing this. They were like angling, and I was like, it's partially directly in. We might have to build a wall to block it.
Like they would have, if the door was like maybe a little off, then it'll work.
It was
like,
barely offset enough so where they actually bought the house, which is great, but it was a concern and I was a little nervous about it. But
because
thankfully
not to bash, but your parents' house, that every time I walk in.
Careful what you say here.
No, but I'm being serious. Like, because when I first went to his parents' house, that was
but
the
they
first
only open
thing.
one door.
I know, but
And we have a money tree, so it kind of counters.
I know, but that was my first thought, and still to this day, because my grandma engraved all those feng shuis in my head. Like, so that's why every time I go to your parents' house, I see it. You walk in, and it's the back door, and I'm like, you know. But that's just, I mean,
that's
not just the feng shui of Asian. It's not,
person.
It's not every person.
Like goes by that rule, but you know when they come across, you definitely have to respect it. And I think in this industry, that's one big thing you have to learn is dealing with people and reading people and connecting with them, because you know every personality type is different. Some people are standoffish, some people are very social, some people are really hardcore with what they want, and some people are pretty loose.
Freaking ADUs, man.
So because I know you're half Chinese, so is that half like, do they believe in feng shui and all that stuff, or they're like, yeah, whatever?
No,
they don't. Okay.
Not really.
So maybe it's just my grandma, because she was very traditional.
Yeah.
Like you can't put your chopstick in your bowl like straight.
Oh wow.
Because it just means like death in the family.
Yeah.
So every time
I'll never
he does
make that
it,
mistake again.
so every time he does it, I pull it out, like I take it out, and it's because it's engraved in my head.
Yeah.
Like things that she
These are cultural norms for you, but things that you have to learn, right?
Yeah.
Because it bothers me. I'm just like, oh, she comes to my mind. I'm like, so I take out his chopstick from his bowl and I just like place it on top. But yeah, that's crazy. That's why when you said the whole door, and I was like, I don't know, this person has to be
real.
Asian.
It's real.
That's gonna be me.
Nothing wrong with it.
That's gonna be me. So
I've worked with worse.
You're
Jeannie.
prepared.
Where's I gonna put a door? Just
Open concept. That's the new thing.
So you want people coming in and going out?
there's some nice people out there.
Oh my god. Okay, so what does it take to start the process to purchase a house besides money?
Yeah, after we rob the bank, now what do we do? Like bags in our hands, like
Not empty bags.
Make sure your credit's good.
Okay.
That's a very important thing. A lot of people aren't really aware of that. They think because they have the money, they can just go buy a house.
and what's good? Like 650 and above, 700 and above.
650 might be the bare minimum that you would want to start at.
Oh, okay.
Above 700 is really good. Not really, but it's good. But above 720, 740 range is like pretty. You'll probably qualify for a pretty good rate. But paying off large debt, not having high credit card balances is key. Just improving your credit prior to starting to get a pre-approval.
Okay.
Then that will help you get a better rate and qualify for a better loan product.
Do you recommend people going to like their own personal banks first, like right away, or just kind of checking like different credit unions?
I would start there because sometimes your banks that you have your money with will offer relationship pricing, and they'll give you some type of discount or good rate. But it's always good to talk to multiple lenders in the event that one has a better rate and make them compete for you, for your business rather. I know my lender friends aren't going to want to hear that, but I have a really good partner though that I do send business to, and I do give him a good opportunity to get a client. It doesn't always work, and he's understanding of that, and most of my partners are. They understand that people shop rates because it's a lot of money on the line. So saving 0.25% or 1/8% sounds like nothing, but when it's on $900,000, that adds up over 30 years, right? So I always tell people to, do what's best for you. The lender's not paying your mortgage, and neither am I. So shop the rate, make sure you get the good rate for you. And also to start, don't make any crazy purchases while you're in the process of shopping for a home. Like, don't go buy a new car, or don't go buying.
What about a flat screen? Like,
I wouldn't advise it.
Okay.
Because once you're in the process and you're in contract, a mortgage lender, when they go through their underwriting process, it's pretty intense. They scrutinize every single purchase you've made for like the last 2 years.
Dang.
They ask for all your statements, and if there's something that, like, if you just spent $3,000 somewhere at Best Buy, like randomly, they're just like, Pete, what's going on here, man? Or, just stuff like that. Just making sure you don't have high credit balances. Again, that's not the only way to qualify, but to help the process be smoother, it's advised to, hold off on any major purchases until you close, and then go crazy.
Sweet.
You hear that?
Yes, I heard. I'm right next to him.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a client use credit cards to purchase a house? Like multiple credit cards?
Not multiple, but I know you can. But there's a limit.
Okay.
I didn't have it on a transaction I worked on, but one of my best friends did tell me when he bought his first house, he did that.
Okay.
I didn't know it was a thing, but he was smart about it, and he used his credit card for up to X amount of dollars. Let's just call it $10,000, and put that towards the down payment, and then the rest he paid cash, but he got the points from that $10,000, and obviously he just like paid it right back off because he had the money. But it's a pretty smart thing to do. But lenders have restrictions on how much you can put on a credit card towards the down payment too. But you can do it.
Okay. Because we know someone that did. So that's how I was like, how is that? I didn't know that was I didn't know that was a thing.
Either at
that
first,
you can use
but
credit cards.
it is a thing. So if you have like an no limit American Express, go do it.
Just a black card, just throw it on the table.
Well, it's great because if you have the money anyway,
you're
do
gonna pay
it.
it
Get
off.
the points, pay it right back off. It's the same thing. So that's why I told my friend, I was like, dude, that's genius that you did that.
And it bumps up your credit score too, right? So,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as long as your credit, don't do it if your credit's at 650.
So you heard it here first. Lauren says you could buy any house with a credit card.
I'm not a financial advisor. Disclaimer.
Imagine people were like, what the heck,
Uncle
Jay?
Lolo right here.
I just listened to you and I'm screwed.
Yeah, don't quote me on all this mortgage stuff. Like I said, I refer this out to my partners that break it down in a much more easy to understand way. I have an understanding of that stuff. It's totally different being a mortgage broker versus a realtor. So I have an understanding based on conversations I've had with my partners, but I always tell people, speak to them. They'll definitely tell you more details of all your questions.
So what are your tips for people that, like, what's your number one or top 3 tips for someone who's looking to start purchasing?
Know what your budget is.
Okay.
And know what your real budget is, not just like, oh, I can afford $6,000 a month. It's not a big deal. Like, no, like you don't want to be what they call house broke, where you're paying all your money towards your mortgage and you can't go on trips to Disneyland anymore. Aww. Or you can't go eat Thai food in Walnut Creek anymore, You want to have money also too, because when you own a home, you own the problems with it.
Yeah.
Living in an apartment is great because you can just call the property manager and say, hey, my sink's not working, or, my toilet's flooded. But when you own the home, you got to fix that toilet.
Yeah.
You got to fix the roof,
Yeah,
Granted,
I got to do all that.
Yeah, hopefully you buy... Hopefully you buy a place that doesn't have those issues. Again, that's my job to make sure you are aware of that prior. But know your budget. That's very important. Speak to a lender to find out what you may qualify for on a loan and what your purchase price may be. And a lender very well may tell you that you're qualified for way more than you are willing to spend. So don't get caught up in that.
Okay.
If that's why I say know your real budget, because you might be, you might qualify for like $1.5 million, but
heck yeah, let's go.
Right? And you're like, great, I can buy a
Newport
nice
Beach,
house in the Bay Area finally.
Yeah.
But no, like you should really break down those numbers and, figure out what that down payment is going to be, figure out what those closing costs are going to be.
Also, you're not going to tell us that? I'm just kidding.
I'll advise you. But
we need you to do the math.
Yeah, because I can't do math. Everyone knows that.
That's funny. But a lender will sometimes not necessarily mislead you, but they want you to obviously spend more. It's better for the bank, right? And also the higher commission they get. But to me, it's I don't want to put you in a position to, 6 months in, you're I can't afford this anymore.
Over leverage.
Yeah, that's it could be a really bad thing to be in that position because it's hard to, you can't just call your mortgage lender and say, can we lower this payment?
No, you just call mom and dad.
Yeah, so know your budget. It's a really important thing. And don't stretch. Unless you love a house and you're going to get a big bonus this next Christmas or something, or you're going to get promoted and have a higher salary, I advise people don't stretch yourself. That's really important.
Okay.
To make sure you know your budget and what you can afford.
Got it.
And then paying down your credit, getting your credit score right, and it's really about the finances. That's really most important, is having your finances in order. Because finding the house is easy, honestly. It may take a little while in finding the right place, but even if you do find the right place, if you don't have your financing in order, you're not going to get it, and you're going to miss the opportunity because of that reason. So
do you recommend a fixer-upper or a brand new, kind of I don't know, Tracy area or Brentwood area, whatever?
I advise people on that based on their financial situation.
Okay.
It's if they're willing to share it. You could very well get into a fixer-upper if you have the savings to make those repairs and updates. Whereas if you have a lower down payment, it might be better for you to buy a house that's already fixed and remodeled. Because if let's say you only have 10% down, right? And then, the fixer-upper may cost you another $100,000 to repair everything in the house. If you don't have that, then, you're going to buy this fixer-upper and live in it broke for a while.
Damn, home broke.
Right? So, and the reason why I say if you can afford to buy a house that's fixed already, all of your payment is going towards the house that has no issues.
Got it.
So I look at it in that perspective. It's more beneficial to you to buy a place that's already fixed because you don't have to worry about it. But if you have the money to buy a fixer-upper, it's better for you long term because whatever you put into it, you build that equity, and long term you'll get that money back.
Got it.
Or even in the short term, really, if you wanted to flip it.
And then the taxes are probably not as bad, right?
They'll be lower on a fixer-upper because
it's all judged on the periods, right?
So the lower the price point, the lower the taxes, basically. But I will say though, if you buy a fixer-upper and then you refinance it later, some people do that. They'll buy a fixer-upper, put in $100,000 and refinance to get some of that money back out of their equity. You will get your taxes on the property reassessed, and so they will go up.
Oh, so every time you refinance. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
So when you get a fixer-upper, do you need a permit to fix the inside?
Technically, yes.
Right? Okay.
A lot of people don't. You can get away with it. I'm not advising you to do it, but you can.
Don't be afraid, man.
There's legal issues here.
I'm not going to sue you.
Well, the thing with permits, it makes the resale process and all the tax records align, so you won't have any issues with
selling it later.
When you don't get a permit, there's potential quality issues. If you hire an electrician that's your uncle's cousin's brother or some random guy, he might not do everything up to code. Okay. So when you go to the permitting process, it's up to the latest safety code of that city. So that's why getting a permit is highly recommended if you want to be safe. It costs more and it takes longer though. So a lot of times people that are renovating a home don't pull the permits because they don't want to go through that delay. Got it. But there's a thing called an owner's permit or owner builder permit. So it's a little bit faster and a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
Some people do that, and it's probably a better way to go if you're not trying to spend the extra money and wait extra long. But if you literally don't pull permits, it would take a neighbor or
to rat you out.
A contractor that you fired to call you out and have the city come inspect your place. It's not a common thing.
So if you don't plan on reselling, then it's okay to not.
No,
Right.
it's okay to not do it in many instances, but it depends on the scope of work. If you're like adding a whole like sunroom to your house, you have to get a permit.
Okay.
If you're just remodeling your floors or updating your kitchen, you should be okay.
Okay.
Not legal advice.
That's funny.
So yeah, that I think for the most part that kind of wraps up our discussion. And then usually what we like to do is just do like some quick rapid fire questions. Don't worry, these aren't like embarrassing like you've heard.
I was worried you would do this to me.
We have to. We always have to do it to our guests.
No joke.
But
I was
these are not
worried.
that bad.
No.
These are not even close to.
Yeah, this is easy. This is light work for you.
Actually, but now that he's brought it up, I kind of.
I have to answer them. If you do, I'm not going to shy away from them. But
Okay, well, okay,
when
we'll
we-
just ask these
I think-
first, and then
yeah,
I'll
in
think
preparing
about
for
it.
it, I was nervous for sure.
I'll think.
Okay, you are given. No, I'm just kidding. All right. If you could live anywhere, where would it be and why?
Ooh.
Forever though, like you can't
Forever.
move. You make that one
Money's
choice.
not an issue. Just
The area, Orange County. The city, that's a tough one, but maybe Dana Point.
Oh, okay.
The most beautiful coastline I've ever seen is in Dana Point. I was lucky enough to stay at the Ritz-Carlton down there. And I'm not being bougie, but it was
No, he's bougie.
it was for a work event. But
Air
like
quotes.
my experience there, yeah. F that company. No, I'm just kidding. But no, they put us in a room there for a sales meeting, and no, like I thought it was like the most beautiful place in the world. In Orange County, I used to live there. I like it. The weather's great. People are cool. Although some people might say the opposite. But I just like the beaches and the weather. So
Yeah.
I would stay in Orange County forever for sure.
interesting.
That's a good
Even though
one.
I'm a Bay Area guy, but sorry.
But would you?
it's nice
But
down
would you ever move back though? Realistically, would you ever move back to the
there.
OC?
To OC? I'd go tomorrow if I could. Bye, guys.
We'll see you down there.
I love it down there.
All right. So since you're a foodie,
Mm-hmm.
if you can eat at one restaurant forever, which restaurant?
Hopefully
would
it's
it
in
be?
Orange County.
Yeah. Oh, even if
Actually,
it's
no.
even if it's
my favorite
not.
restaurant's not in Orange County.
Yeah, then he can just
Yeah.
build one in OC.
Ah,
Forever, man, that's tough. I like so many different cuisines. Trying to think of like where was it? Like some of the top food I've had is out here in the Bay Area, but also Vegas. I would say probably Bazaar Meat in Vegas, though. That place was pretty damn good.
where's that located?
It's a steakhouse. I want to say it's in the SLS hotel, but I could be wrong. But
Okay.
Bazaar Meat by like Jose Andres. Like I had a dinner there that I'll never forget.
Dang, now we have to try it whenever we're in Vegas.
I know, right?
All right.
All right. If you choked a Smurf, what color does it turn?
Purple.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a good answer.
I would say
Because it's
purple.
already blue, so I was
Yeah.
like, I guess purple. I mean, why would you choke a Smurf to begin with? But
But why would there be a Smurf?
I don't know. I mean, they hang out at like theme parks, right? You know,
What
he steps
theme
on their new
parks?
shoes. I don't know. Great America. I haven't been there in a while, but
dude, are they still around?
Great America?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm thinking about the other one, the Vallejo one.
Oh, Six Flags.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Okay, well, if you didn't bring it up that you were scared, I
Shit.
probably would have thought. But I'm just gonna ask this question.
Which one?
He's like,
He's already sweating. Good thing we have this on camera. So.
oh my god, he's already-
I'm nervous. I'm not gonna like not answer it. So go ahead and ask. It's cool. It's only fair to every other guest.
It's a used question, I think.
Okay.
Do you wipe standing or sitting?
Standing.
Like straight up or like squatting?
I don't think about that, but I would say straight up, I guess. It's funny because I did hear that question on another one. It's like, I don't like think of like that. Like, you guys are kind of weird.
No, because
No, it's a funny question for
well,
sure.
because
But
our friend in LA had asked, somehow it
Because
came
it was on
up.
a show on Netflix. It's like those 100 questions and like how people react, or like if you're surveyed like 100 questions and how you react to
It's kind of like toilet paper. Like, are you an over or under type of person?
I don't know why all the questions are all bathroom related.
I like
but
awkward questions, honestly. I really do. Like, they're
I learned
kind
a
of
lot.
funny to answer.
I learned
and,
a lot from a lot of people.
So I kind of laughed at when you put people in those positions. So thanks for taking it easy on me, though.
And then the last one we had.
Yeah, you
which,
had that question.
We were talking about it at dinner tonight, but last book you read. I know you don't read, but
I am illiterate, other than real estate contracts. I know those like the back of my hand. But last book
or heard.
Yeah, I only listen to Audible audiobooks. There's actually been like 3 that I've listened in the past like week and a half. But Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Okay, I need to check that out.
Great book. Highly advise people to listen to it. It's a great story about like people that are successful and like the ways they become successful. It's just like like the outside perception is that like these people are just like great at what they do, so they're the best at what they did, so that's why they're successful. But it's not so much about that. It's more so about like the circumstances. Like everybody has had a helping hand along the way, no matter who you are. Like even Bill Gates, Michael Jordan, whoever it may be, even myself. That's why I kind of related to it. It's like I'm not who I am today without my family, my friends, the people around me, the business relationships I've developed. I put in the work, but there's circumstances involved as well. I guess the stars align sometimes for people to be like wildly successful.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the book speaks to. I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, definitely listen to it.
Interesting.
Oh, so you listened to it, but you didn't read it.
I'm illiterate.
So how
Except for
long
real estate
does
contracts.
it take to listen through?
So I'm kind of weird. I'm like, I listen to it at 1.4 speed because I think I'm a person that like values my time. So I try to cram as much as possible into as little time as possible.
Got it.
I wonder how that sounds.
To me, it sounds normal, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not bothered by it, but I've like listened to it around other people and they're like, why are you listening to it like this? It's just weird. But it's like, it's English. I can understand them when they talk fast. I'm not like stupid. Like, and then it's funny though, because I've tried to listen to an audiobook at like 1-to-1 speed and they're just talking too slow.
Oh my God.
I would never be able to listen to an audiobook like that. I couldn't do it. So it's just like 1.5 speed or 1.4
I don't think
speed.
I've ever tried an audiobook.
I will buy you your first membership. I'll get you a first 3
Can you
months
choose
membership.
your reader, or like how does that work? Like,
No, it's an app.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but
it's
like
great.
the person reading it.
Like I
Oh
can't.
no, some readers suck. Honestly, like voices. I mean, my voice probably isn't the best either, but
Like I can't get
who
Morgan
you listen
Freeman to narrate or or Uncle Bruce.
Oh, that'd be funny. Some readers are better than others. The Outliers book is so great because it's read by a great person.
Okay.
I don't know who it is.
Morgan Freeman.
His voice would kind of bother me in an audiobook at 1.4 speed, honestly. But
How about Kevin Hart?
I actually kind of want to hear that.
Yeah.
I'll
At
play
a
it for you when we
1.4,
get off of this.
Because I've never heard an audiobook, so I don't know what normal speed sounds like.
Oh.
So are we at a 1.4 speed right now as we're talking, or is it like a 1
I
to
think
1?
we've been talking like 1.2.
Oh.
Dang, so we can go faster.
Oh my gosh. All right. So before we end it, do you have any tips for the fellow listeners? I almost said viewers again.
Hit that subscribe button. No other tips really. I think we've kind of covered it. But before we end, I did want to say thank you for having me.
Oh, of course.
It's been a pleasure. This is kind of fun.
Yeah.
As I listen to your other podcasts, I'm like in the car or something listening. I always want to like chime in, but it's like they're not here to talk to. So it's just cool to like actually be a part of one of these.
Oh, yeah.
Again, thank you. It's been fun, and hopefully your listeners enjoy it and learn some things from it.
Yeah. So follow Familee Lee
Yep.
Realty on Instagram and any other platforms that you're on.
I'm on all social media. I have Twitter, but like no one follows me.
MySpace.
MySpace.
Yeah. I'm everywhere. You can Google me.
It's
and
on
a bunch of
billboards
stuff.
too, by the way. So
Yeah, I've had
Are you
quite
still
a few
on
of those.
billboards?
I heard one of them is still up.
Oh, that's
The campaign
awesome.
ended from my perspective, but I guess no one else bought it. So
Okay, so going to that, how much is a billboard?
they're like 30,000 each. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was about to be like,
No. I'm not that big time. They vary. It varies on how many you get, location, what the traffic is like in that area. They could be as low as $500 for
Wow, no
like
way.
a month, up to 3,000.
you can put anything.
dang.
Kind of can put anything. Yeah, I
I'm gonna put my face before
yeah,
I
as long as you're
leave.
paying and it's available, I don't
Yeah.
think they have any restrictions. So
I don't
yeah.
care if I'm the only one that just drives by it. Like, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what if you
I've gotten
put one
great
in
feedback from the billboards, though,
Oakland?
honestly, from people that know me and have seen it. They're like, dude, that's kind of cool. Like,
Yeah.
And honestly, that's the only reason why I did it. It
I
wasn't
was
like to be
hoping to
like,
run into or
Yeah.
drive by one, but I think you said it was on the other side
Yeah,
of the
there
freeway that
was-
I wouldn't take.
nothing close to here.
Mm.
But yeah, I threw one up in Berkeley, one was in Oakland, going towards the Bay Bridge, Redwood City, Hayward. Where's the other one? San Mateo Bridge. Yeah, I had
Okay.
quite a few for a little while in different times, but
That'd
yeah,
be
they were
cool.
just like cool. Like I saw one day, I was like, I want to do one of those. So I
But
did it.
dang, $500
I know. For a
Dang.
month?
Yeah.
Right? 500 a month?
depending on the place. So you can go
Yeah.
to the most ghetto place and
Yeah,
put a
it'd be super
billboard.
cheap there. Yeah. And just take a picture in front of it. No one knows where it is.
Exactly. Like, look, mom, I made it.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys, we are ending it here. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it on Instagram and tag at downtotheT.podcast. So I know, so Lo knows, so PV knows that you are enjoying it. Until next time, I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Bye, guys. Oh, you don't want to say bye again?
Oh, bye.
Thank you guys for tuning in. And if you loved it, please rate, drop a review on all platforms, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a new episode the minute it goes live. Make sure you connect with me on Instagram at downtotheT.podcast. Till next time, guys. Love ya.